Welcome to Quizverse. It's time for the Ultimate Country Quiz Challenge. Think fast, shout out your best answers, and let's see how many you can get right before the timer runs out. Can you score a perfect 50 out of 50? Let's find out. Round 1, Europe. What is this country? United Kingdom. Fun fact, this country drinks 100 million cups of tea every single day. What is this country? France. Fun fact, it has more cheese varieties than days in the year. What is this country? Italy. Fun fact, there is a free wine fountain in this country that flows 24/7. What is this country? Germany. Fun fact, they have over 1,500 different types of sausages and invented the Christmas tree. What is this country? Spain. Fun fact, home to the only festival where people throw 100 metric tons of tomatoes at each other. What is this country? Netherlands. Fun fact, this country is actually slowly sinking, but they are experts at building dikes. What is this country? Switzerland. Fun fact, it has enough nuclear fallout shelters to house its entire population. What is this country? Ireland. Fun fact, the Titanic was built here, and Halloween originated from their ancient festivals. What is this country? Sweden. Fun fact, they import waste from other countries just to power their recycling plants. What is this country? Greece. Fun fact, they have thousands of islands, but no point in the country is more than 137 kilometers from the sea. What is this country? Ukraine. Fun fact, home to the deepest metro station in the world and the breadbasket of Europe. What is this country? Turkey. Fun fact, Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas, was actually born here, not the North Pole. Great job. Now, heading east, welcome to Asia. But before we start round 2, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Round 2, Asia. What is this country? Japan. Fun fact, there are more pets than children in this country. What is this country? China. Fun fact, they invented ice cream, paper, the compass, and gunpowder. What is this country? India. Fun fact, shampoo was invented here, and cows are considered sacred. What is this country? South Korea. Fun fact, it is illegal to turn off the location sound on a camera here to prevent secret photos. What is this country? Thailand. Fun fact, it is strictly forbidden to step on money because it has the king's image. What is this country? Vietnam. Fun fact, the world's second largest coffee producer, famous for egg coffee. What is this country? Saudi Arabia. Fun fact, there are no rivers in this country, but plenty of black gold. What is this country? Philippines. Fun fact, they text more than any other nation in the world. What is this country? Indonesia. Fun fact, a country made up of over 17,000 islands. What is this country? Israel. Fun fact, they have reinvented agriculture to grow food in the desert. What is this country? Mongolia. Fun fact, there are more horses than people here. What is this country? Singapore. Fun fact, it is famously illegal to sell or chew gum here. Let's go! Crossing the ocean now, North and South America. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Round 3, North and South America. What is this country? USA. Fun fact, the Library of Congress contains tweets from every account. What is this country? Canada? Fun fact, they have a strategic reserve of maple syrup worth millions. What is this country? Mexico. Fun fact, Caesar salad was actually invented here, not in Rome. What is this country? Brazil. Fun fact, they have the widest river and the biggest carnival on the planet. What is this country? Argentina. Fun fact, the first animated feature film was created here in 1917. What is this country? Colombia. Fun fact, the liquid rainbow river of 5 colors is located here. What is this country? Peru. Fun fact, they grow over 3,000 different varieties of potatoes. What is this country? Cuba. Fun fact, Domino's is a national obsession here. What is this country? Jamaica. Fun fact, the James Bond novels were written here. What is this country? Chile. Fun fact, home to the driest place on Earth, the Atacama Desert. What is this country? Venezuela. Fun fact, lightning strikes the same lake here 10 hours a day, 160 days a year. What is this country? Costa Rica. Fun fact, this country has no army. They abolished it in 1948. Incredible! Let's travel further. Get ready for the wild side. Round 4, Africa and Oceania. What is this country? Egypt. Fun fact, home to the only remaining wonder of the ancient world. What is this country? Australia. Fun fact, an island, a country, and a continent all at once. What is this country? Madagascar. Fun fact, 90% of its wildlife is found nowhere else on Earth. What is this country? South Africa. Fun fact, one of the few places on Earth where you can find penguins on a sunny beach. What is this country? New Zealand. Fun fact, the real Middle Earth, famous for its stunning landscapes. What is this country? Uganda. Fun fact, home to almost half of the world's remaining mountain gorillas. What is this country? Morocco. Fun fact, home to the famous Blue City hidden in the mountains. What is this country? Tanzania. Fun fact, home to the highest freestanding mountain in the world. What is this country? Fiji. Fun fact, a tropical paradise made up of over 300 islands. What is this country? Zimbabwe. Fun fact, home to Victoria Falls, known as the smoke that thunders. Good job! And now let's travel to something a little exotic or unusual. Bonus round. What is this country? United Arab Emirates. Fun fact, they have police cars that are Lamborghinis and Ferraris. What is this country? Vatican City. Fun fact, the smallest country in the world, it fits inside another city. What is this country? Monaco. Fun fact, almost 1 in 3 people living here is a millionaire. What is this country? Antarctica. Fun fact, it's not a country, it's a continent, but it holds 70% of the world's fresh water frozen in ice. You made it! Did you get 100%? Comment your score below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Quizverse for more challenges. Thanks for watching and see you next time.